Good morning. So I started this morning, really nice walk and beach for Shiva. And then I came home to another demonstration across from a bakery where elderly people mostly sit. And between, it's like on a traffic island between a store, like a 24-hour store, and a bakery. Why do these people come to demonstrate for their hostages? I am very much aware that there are hostages being held in Gaza. I don't need a reminder, and I definitely don't need people honking their horns. Why do they do this? These people need a stage, they need a purpose. So they can't help elderly people, volunteer to help children in need, people that need help in Israel, no. Or even the families of the hostages may need help, may need somebody to hold their hand, sit with them, hear them, no. Instead of listening, they provocate and encourage drivers to honk their horns. So the morning is more chaotic than usual. And they laugh in your face if you remind them the fact that the Egyptian embassy is 100 meters from there. The American embassy is not too far. They just choose this island of traffic to stand there as if they're the big heroes caring about the hostages, and we are really horrible people that forgot about the hostages. No, I don't think anybody here has ever forgotten about the hostages and the fact that there are people being held in Gaza. But we also realize that we cannot do anything to change the situation. Nothing. Maybe I would demonstrate if the demonstration was across the street from a politician, somebody in a place of influence, somebody who could place pressure on the people holding the hostages in Gaza. I would definitely join if there was such an option. But to stand on an island of traffic in an area where there's nobody that has any influence on anything that's going on in Gaza, where there are people that maybe came back from serving in the reserves in Gaza, in Lebanon, people that just want to start their morning in a very, very stressful region of the world, in a war where people are being killed. And it's hard enough to deal with that. And every now and then there is a siren, there is an attack, a rocket attack, and there are constant rocket attacks in the north. But the hostages, the demonstrations for the hostages have been proven even by the hostages who have been released. They say that the Hamas terrorists celebrate these demonstrations. They laugh because they know they can get more terrorists released that way. And they don't have any intention of releasing hostages as long as it doesn't benefit them. And making a deal with the terrorists is not an option at the moment. It would have been an option if pressure had been placed in the UN, embassies that are connected. But where they are standing and demonstrating, those three people, they just make a lot of noise. And just really makes me feel very uncomfortable because I didn't ask them to be there. I don't have any power to do anything to release the hostages, except I can remind people on social media about them. We can talk about that, but we could, if we speak about things, maybe we can think about ideas of how to bring awareness through social media, through very different ways. But if people honk their horns, that does absolutely nothing. So if you really want to make a change in this situation, why don't you just think about what can be effective and not just to glorify yourself as a really caring person. Like, you do nothing for these people, absolutely nothing. You don't collect signatures, you don't help have petitions, you don't have a plan except to make a lot of noise and balagan. And I really fail to see this helping the hostage situation in any way. Makes me sad that people are doing things that are so ineffective and just don't help the situation. And it's just frustrating to see people who think they're doing something just by increasing the noise level in the city, by wearing stickers or 404 days. It would be so much better if they just stood there silently, but they don't. They encourage cars to honk their horns, which makes the rational decision making even more impossible. If we could sit down quietly and think of ways to help the hostages get released, that would be so much better than to tell people to honk their horns. This isn't like a soccer match. These are real people being held hostage, and who should not be there. And we need to get them out and fast. But honking horn of cars is absolutely not the way. And they just refuse to do that. It's like they keep banging their head on the wall and not reaching any plan that could help. They don't go to embassies. They don't put pressure on the UN. They don't work through social media by convincing the people that are holding them hostage to let them go. They just add noise and chaos to already a very chaotic place and a very stressful place to live in. So I don't understand. Do you think there'll be a time when these people will actually be listening to what people tell them and stop making illegal demonstrations in areas where there's like no chance of influencing anyone? The person honking their horn is not going to be sitting down and thinking of solutions. They're just going to be honking their horns. How is that helpful? How is that helping the hostages? I listened to Rachel, the mother of Hirsch Goldberg, Poland, and I think it's important to publish what she has to say because she's a very intelligent and wonderful woman. She would never tell cars to honk their horns. She just says we need to get them out and fast. And I'm sure there's not a stone that she left unturned, and she and her husband have done everything possible to try to get their son released. And it's very sad that they should be feeling grateful for just having a body, returned to them. This is the level of gratitude that they have for everything. They're such special and wonderful people. And when she says, okay, the hostages have been held for 402 days, I understand the message, and it makes it clear because I know she's a person who's tried every route possible for the release of the hostages and is still working on getting to the people who can help the hostages getting released. She would never, ever stand with the sign, honk your horn. I'm sure she wouldn't, because she knows that's not the way, because she's a rational person. She's very intelligent, but unfortunately, people have taken the hostage situation hostage and just do it to get attention instead of doing things that could get the hostages back. That's all I have to say. Thank you for listening.